Do you want to know how to budget for your monthly rent? Before you answer that question, make sure you click the subscribe button below and click on the bell icon. That way, when we release more information, you will be the first to get notified. So, how do you budget for your monthly rent? Step 1. See what you can afford based on your monthly income. The first step in budgeting how to pay for your rent each month is to determine how much rent you actually can afford to pay. Typically, it's recommended that you spend no more than 30% of your pre-tax income on rent. If rental properties are not available in that range in your city, then you may want to consider maybe supplementing your income or getting a roommate. If you sign a lease and your income goes down, then you may want to consider your options carefully and determine whether it makes sense for you to break your lease or stay in your lease for the remainder amount of time until it ends. Often the penalty for breaking your lease is 1 month's rent, but you will want to consult your specific lease and local rent ordinances to make sure. You should also keep in mind, in addition to penalties associated with an early termination of a lease, there are also some other one-time costs associated with relocating, such as moving costs, security deposits, and rental applications. Step 2, prepare. Now that you know how to determine how much rent you can afford on a monthly basis, you want to make sure you're prepared to take on the responsibility of a lease. One way to do this is to make sure you have at least 3 months of rent saved up in case of an emergency. That way, you'll be more likely to make it to the end of your lease in case your income lowers or gets temporarily interrupted. Step 3. Before you're move-in ready, you should carefully consider any other regular costs that are associated with your new apartment. For example, if you're moving into a bigger place, then your utility bills might be higher. You want to ask yourself if you can afford the higher cost of these kind of bills. And you may want to talk with your prospective landlord to see if any of these expenses are included in your rent. If you have any pets, you may want to talk with your potential landlord to see if there's any sort of pet rent. Sometimes this can add up and be pretty significant. If you drive, you may want to ask if a parking spot is included with your rent or what your options are. If street parking seems unreliable, there may be some paid lots in your neighborhood that you can have access to for an additional monthly fee. It's also advisable to purchase renter's insurance, and most of the time you can get that at an affordable rate. It could really help you out of a bind in case an emergency occurs. Most of the time, renter's insurance doesn't just cover the damage to your rental property, but also personal property that could either be damaged or stolen. Remember that renter's insurance policies can vary a lot, so you want to make sure you shop around before you make a decision. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, comment below with yes, and if you haven't, comment below with no, and let us know a question that you would like to have answered on one of our next videos. For more information, visit us on our website at alleviatefinancial.com.